Marcus, we returned to action this weekend following a break. Was that a good time to have a break, do you think, on two good results?
Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you after this weekend. um, I mean, I always, when there is a break in the season and it's a weekend, I think you have to make the most of it, because the focus is so intense. Whether it's a Tuesday night game or a Saturday night game, you're always thinking about it. And to have a weekend sometimes off on is good, because sometimes you don't need the physical rest, but sometimes you need the mental rest from it. And I think that's what our players will probably benefit from. Sometimes you need both. But saying that, sometimes you also want to get on with the game and play games week in, week out. But if there is a benefit, I think at the moment it's a mental break, and to switch off and do the Christmas shopping, and do stuff like that. And now it's back on to business, which was Monday. Sunday, I would have thought they would have started thinking about the game again, and now we're going to York. So yeah, I think weekends off generally, you have to give people a rest.
And it's the start of a hectic spell now, isn't it, with York coming this week, and then I think 5 games between now and 2nd of January.
Yeah, I mean, Christmas period is always busy. Like I say, it starts this weekend, and it's important that everyone's fit, everyone's mentally ready for the games. Hence, that's why we had a reserve game the other day, and we've got another one next Tuesday. So everyone's prepared and going into this group of games. So yeah, starting with York. Yeah.
Is it a chance, perhaps, when all of your squad, you need all your squad fit, and maybe an opportunity will come for some who haven't been regulars?
There's no doubt about that. And this manager's done that. He's played players who probably on the Thursday didn't think they were going to play, and he's played them on a Saturday. So you got to keep people on their toes. You have to keep people fit mentally and physically, and that's why we do reserve games. And when they have played in these games, they've been outstanding, to be fair to them. The difference was the other day, our senior players, our players that are on the fringes of the first team were more influential vocally and physically and mentally than their opposition were when it came to looking after the young lads around them. And that can be the difference sometimes. We went to a game at Yate, I think, I don't know how many seasons ago, it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, and the amount of senior pros that were out there on that pitch at the time, that couldn't be bothered to run around and do the hard work it would have taken to win the game, and were probably embarrassed to be out there, because it was embarrassing watching them. That sort of mentality isn't here anymore, and that's why these players will get an opportunity to play in this team, because that's how they think and that's how they work, and that's how the manager wants his club run.
And it has a knock-on effect to the younger players, doesn't it? Because if they see the more experienced pros putting everything into a reserve game, then surely it must make them want to strive to get into.
No doubt about it. You have to add value to this football club, and whether that's me as a coach and adding value to the younger lads in whatever way, and whether it's the manager adding value to me as a coach and to the rest of the team, and whether you're a senior player adding value to the young lads, that's what has to be done. And I mean adding value in a positive way, not negatively, because it can flip both ways. And at this moment in time, and since this manager's taken over, that's been the way it's been done.
Just looking at the goalkeeping situation, Lee Nichols is due to play his last game against York this Saturday. Will Puddy played 1 reserve game, 70 odd minutes of a reserve game Tuesday. Yep. Is he going to be ready the following week, or is Steve Mildenhall being contention?
They'll both be, I would have thought. It's Pud's first game back, like you say. He came off 15, 18 minutes to go, I think, the other day. Purely precautionary, because he's been out for a long while, and it was his first game back, and he was getting a bit stiff in himself. So I don't think there's been any ill effects from that game. I think he's training today. So whoever the manager chooses for that game next Saturday, I know for a fact that they're both very capable goalkeepers, and both have very different qualities to their game. So I trust them both, and whoever's fit, I think, will do a good job for this football club.
Just a word about Lee Nichols. He's played quite 15, 16 games, I think, during his loan spell, and he seems to have been welcomed in by the squad and performed well in most matches. He has made 1 or 2 mistakes.
I mean, the end of the day, it's about his personality, and his personality fitted perfectly into his football club because he was a hard-working player. The lads liked him as a person, and generally, if they like you, it's because you're a team player. If they don't like you, then you're probably not, so you won't be there very long anyway. So he fitted in very well when it comes to that. So since he's been here, he's been a credit to himself, been a credit to Wigan, and you know he had a bit of pride in himself and wanted to do well, and didn't see it as a step down. He seen it as an opportunity for him to get some games under his belt, and to maybe put his personality and his bit of value on our young players as well.
Just talk strikers a minute, because I mean our last game saw Matty Taylor register a hat-trick, and he's in a real purple patch of form at the moment, and as an ex-striker you must welcome that and be pleased to see him doing it.
It's important that I like people as well, and Matt is a great lad. I mean, I love him. He's very enthusiastic, he's funny, he's cheeky, but in the right way. He goes about his work in a serious manner. When it comes to training, he's asking questions, he's listening to you. Yes, he listens, and he not only listens, he also has the ability to, if I was asking him to do something, or we were asking him to do something, he can do it. You know, he's got the technique to do what he wants, really, and I think in the past year and a half he's shown that, along with the fact that he listens, and he's listened in the past year and a half, and he's improved. You know, I said this before, every player has potential, but it's whether you want to listen to people to help you make that potential or not. And at the moment, well, in the past year and a half, he's had a steady improvement, and he's listened.
And he doesn't let a barren spell worry him, does he? I think he scored once in the opening 10 games, so he didn't let that get to him. He just kept on playing his game.
You know, whatever you get from Matty, you are always going to get 100% effort, and you know when things aren't going quite his way. So he's a team player. So he doesn't score for a game. He's not having a good day with the ball at his feet. Then you know what else you're going to get from him. Generally, that's him standing in the right areas and him making the correct runs, and him closing people down to stop the ball going forward. So that's why he's so important to our team, as well as when we've got the ball. And when he is on his day, you know he's still going to do his work, and he's going to add a bit more because he's going to get goals. So, and it's very rarely this season that he's not always been on his day. You know you're going to miss chances. That's how it is as a striker. You have to be mentally strong enough to get over that stretch almost instantly, to be able to put yourself in the right frame of mind to be ready for the next chance. And he has the ability to do that, to be fair to him.
We should look at York City, the next challenge for you on Saturday. Going through a little bit of a bad spell at the moment. Their manager, recently appointed, hasn't won a game yet. Is this a dangerous time or a good time to play?
Well, it's a bit of both. You know, it's the previous game against Accrington, they brought in 5 loan players and put them straight in the squad. So somewhere along the line, 5 other players that were playing the game before had to drop down. Whether they were gone back to their parent club, one of them did, went back to Middlesbrough. Whether one's suspended, that's one. What's happened? Green is suspended, but 3 or 4 others were either going to be sub or not in the squad at all. So it's interesting how he's going to deal with that over the past week and a half. And also on the flip side of that, the positive from their point of view is that they've had another 2 weeks to ingrain those players that have just come in on loan from various clubs, to get them to know his philosophy, the way he wants to play. So I'm not sure what to expect. I'm not sure what formation to expect. I'm not sure what team. I know the team, of course, but in terms of predicting what they're going to play and how they're going to play, I don't know. I just know they got a few loans that he would have had a chance to ingrain his philosophy to them.
It's a big change, isn't it, to bring in 5 players at any given time and put them straight in. It does disrupt things a little bit.
It does.
It can go both ways, I guess.
It does. I don't know why he's done that, but that's the way it is. You know, that's his choice, and I'm sure he believes in it. In time, you know, it will start coming together. Of course.
Does it make your preparations difficult, because with no game last week and they just played that 1 game, so a bit of an unknown quantity?
Not really. You know, we don't. It's not just about the last game. It's about the previous 3 or 4 games we've played as well. So as long as we know each player and what they can do and what they can't do, and what formations they have played, then that's all we can go off really. It's not rocket science. It's knowing what we can do, more importantly, and we are about. It is about us when we do prepare. It's about us, and we give a snippet of them. We're not arrogant to think that we're not going to know anything about them, not tell us anything about other teams. It's very important that our players know about their teams and how they play and what he's like and what that person's like. But I think it's even more important than our players that we have knowing how we play.
You go into the York game with a win and a draw and two excellent performances, I think. Important that you build on that, is it? I mean, Rovers have made their best league start since, I think, 98-99, so it's going well. The home form, you seem to have turned the corner.
Well, ask me that question after the Christmas period, Keith.
This is the crucial time then, isn't it?
It's a crucial time, you know, and it was last year. I think we had a really good period this time last year. I think we lost to Bath City, and then I think we went on quite a good run over the Christmas period. We got ourselves back on track to get promoted, and it's no different every year. There's just so many games in a short period of time that, you know, within 3 weeks' time we could be in the top 5 or in the bottom half of the table. It's that simple.